Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to this very special webinar about the power of AI in customer experience, hosted by me, Ian Golding, sitting right now in London in the UK, and my good friend and colleague, Eytan Hattem from Cemantica, sitting somewhere else in the world right now. Eytan, probably Paris, I'm guessing, or somewhere similar. We are very much hoping that you are joining us because the subject of AI, artificial intelligence, is something that is very top of mind, either for you personally or for your organization. And you've joined this LinkedIn Live either through the event page, or if you're still trying to navigate around how to join a LinkedIn Live, through the Cemantica LinkedIn page. And over the next 45 minutes, we're very much hoping we can stimulate not just some thoughts and debate in your mind, but also open your eyes to the art of the possible. Now, I'm not clever enough to explain to you what is possible with artificial intelligence specifically, but that's why I'm joined by a much bigger brain, which is Eytan. What I would like to do is to really frame our webinar today, frame the conversation, because like you, I've been hearing about AI continuously, consistently for what seems like a very long time now. In fact, since November 2022. Now, if anyone can tell me what happened in November 2022 in the chat, in the LinkedIn Live, I might reward you in some way. Just pause just for a moment. I don't even know if Eytan knows what happened in November 2022.
No, I'm trying to figure out.
What
I want to
happened
win
in
the
November
prize.
2022 is that for the very first time, ChatGPT was made available to the public. November 2022. And the reason I mention this is because it was from that moment that the media went crazy for AI. Suddenly bombarding us with articles, with documents, basically telling us that human beings were no longer necessary. I'm probably exaggerating just a little bit, and artificial intelligence was going to replace everything we do. But genuinely, since that moment, we have been going through a mixture of emotions when it comes to AI. There is an element of fear, there is an element of confusion, and there is also an element of excitement. And tell us in the chat, do those three words, are they appropriate for you? Are you scared? Are you excited? Are you confused? Personally, I'm confused, and I'll tell you why. Because in preparing for this webinar, I discovered all of these different terminologies that are currently being used, different types of AI. Generative AI, which most of us have heard of, reactive AI, limited memory AI, theory of mind AI, self-aware AI, artificial narrow intelligence, artificial general intelligence, and then the one that worries me more than anything else, artificial super intelligence. I mean, what does it all mean? There is so much being thrown at us right now that stopping and just thinking, what does this actually mean, especially in the world of customer experience, is vitally important. So let's just have a look, first of all, at some of the things that are being said about AI in customer experience, trends, if you like. So 96% of execs saying generative AI is a hot topic in boardrooms. Now, that in itself arguably is a problem. And some of that may well have been driven by the ChatGPT explosion, if you like, of executives thinking, we need this, give it to us, which is not an uncommon reaction from leaders when they hear about things that they believe their organization should be doing. 60% of CX leaders expect AI to have a transformative impact. Now, what does that mean precisely? It's quite an interesting statistic. You could argue that 60% is a lot, or you could argue that only 60%. Does that mean that there is a lack of understanding of the impact that AI could or should be having? Now, interestingly, according to Adobe, 92% of workers say AI technology has a positive impact. Now, that is a statistic I'm very pleased to see, because if AI is being used for the right reason, we'll explore this more, then it should be making the life of the employee easier, in my opinion. But we'll explore that more, as I say. And then finally, 79% of organizations implementing AI generate new insights and better analysis. Now, that's really interesting. We are seeing AI already helping organizations to get better information, which in theory should allow them to make better decisions. Really interesting numbers. Now, if you have additional statistics available, again, share them in the chat. It's so important that we use this as a way of educating each other. And so if there is more information that you have, please tell us. But what this demonstrates, proves, if you like, is that artificial intelligence is something that we cannot ignore. And in the world of customer experience, what does that mean in terms of where it fits in? How should customer experience be better impacting the work that customer experience professionals are putting into place? Now, those of you who have heard me speak before know that I, over the last 12 years, with colleagues of mine, have been helping organizations to operationalize customer experience through the adoption of a framework. And the educational framework that I teach, you can see on the screen. Interestingly, when you break this framework down, artificial intelligence should give us an even better ability to put the different pieces of the jigsaw puzzle into place. Because right now, we are reliant, for example, to create a customer experience strategy of knowing exactly who our customers are and what their needs, wants, and expectations are. Historically, we've had to gather insight to be able to do that, and then interpret that insight manually, essentially, to determine what we think we want the experience for customers to be. In theory, we should now automate that and ensure that we are accurately determining, based on fact, exactly what the experiences that our customers need and want from us using artificial intelligence. Measurement is vital. Customer experience is a fact-based methodology. And this, as many of you know, is where the customer journey comes in, because it is the customer journey that is bringing the experience to life for our customers right now. But if we're going to be able to improve the customer journey, we need to accurately map it. We need to then accurately measure it to identify the priorities for improvement. Right now, not many organizations are doing this well. I'll explain more in a moment. And then ultimately, we can't do any of this without people. And what is vital when it comes to AI is for organizations to recognize that customer experience has always been and will always be about human-to-human interaction. Whilst artificial intelligence can make the life of our people easier, it should not be seen as a way of replacing them, eliminating them. Artificial intelligence should be a brilliant way of enabling humans to better deliver the experience we want our customers to have. And that is why, if we look beneath this framework, we need to ask ourselves, how should artificial intelligence be enabling our operating model to improve? How should we be leveraging the power of artificial intelligence to create a more robust operating model that enables us to consistently deliver the experience we want our customers to have. Operating model, whether you like that expression or not, is all about understanding and aligning the layers, organizational layers that bring the experience for your customers to life, starting with the customer journey. AI, as Eytan will explain to you very shortly, can be used, not should, but can and should potentially be used to help us visualize that journey in a much more accurate way than we are able to visualize it today. I keep using the word accurate because so much of what we do today is based on what we think rather than what is actually happening. Our business processes represent the things our people do every day. Process management is a very well understood discipline. But again, how much of what we do every day is unnecessary? Over the last few years, I have increasingly talked about something called value flow analysis. Again, not a new concept, but identifying the work that people are doing that is adding no value. What if there was a way of eliminating that non-value added activity by using artificial intelligence to do it instead? Again, that's not replacing the human, that is replacing the things the human should not have to worry about. And then ultimately, the third layer is the technology layer. Too often, technology is seen as a way of eliminating the human. And so we're just throwing technology at our people and at our customers. We should be truly understanding how technology like AI can better enable our processes to do what our customers need us to do. AI cannot be ignored. But if we really understand what it can actually do, then we have a serious opportunity to start turning some of this theory into genuine, tangible change. And there is no better way of explaining that and seeing it than when you apply artificial intelligence to the customer journey itself. Customer journey management, as anyone that has ever heard me speak before, is something that I have been preaching about for years now. And Eytan, if you can move me to the next slide, please. Customer journey management is a cycle of continuous interconnected activity. Most of this activity today requires a huge amount of human intervention to deal with it. Through the creation of customer personas to bring to life who the customer is that the journey relates to. We then need cross-functional teams to come together to determine what the journey for our customer actually looks like, so we can then start to measure the journey, to identify the small number of priorities having the greatest negative impact on customer perception and, as a result, financial performance. And when we know what the priorities are, we fix them. And this is a continuous, never-ending cycle. Today, as I say, a lot of this requires human intervention, human knowledge to try and determine the answer to a number of questions. Who is the customer? Relies on our ability to gather and interpret customer insight. Visualizing the customer journey requires the subject matter expertise of cross-functional teams to help us bring together an understanding of the interactions our customers are having. We then need to validate that with real customers. This takes time and it is not simple to do. We then need to ensure that we are measuring the journey in a robust manner. But what if the journey that we've created is not accurate? It's not truly representative. What if the measurement we're applying doesn't actually measure that journey end to end? Ultimately, this culminates in us identifying priorities for improvement that might not actually be the right priorities. What if there was a way of identifying the priorities that was so statistically robust you would not have to even raise a finger to truly understand where you needed to focus? All of this might sound that it isn't possible, that it's not believable, but I can confirm to you that it absolutely is. Some of the things that Eytan has already told me are in the pipeline, not for 5 years' time, but for the here and now. Honestly, it gives me goosebumps. We are at a key pivot of customer experience evolution. And that's why I'm so excited for Eytan to be able to explain to you how we can turn all of this into tangible, measurable change. So, Eytan, please prove to everyone that this is possible and how it can be done.
Thank you, Ian. So looking at the journey management cycle, I'm going to show you a couple of examples from the things that are planned in the Cemantica platform for this year. But just as a concept, the idea that we're trying to create here is to consolidate all the CX work on one platform. We know that many of the tasks that we do today, the work that we have in our daily jobs, is spread around different systems. We're using different tools, but we were lacking this alignment between everything, and we need one place where we can consolidate it and then use on top of it the AI mechanisms in order to facilitate our work. So we've created in Cemantica a journey governance cycle that starts with building strategies, identifying the persona profile, mapping the customer journeys, then infusing them with data, then selecting the opportunities and solutions that we want to execute, measuring the impact, and refining the cycle all over again. As Ian said, this is a continuous improvement cycle. It isn't a one-off exercise that you do. It is something that you refine and you continue to improve over time as customer needs and expectation are continuing to shift. One of the trends, Ian was speaking about trends in artificial intelligence. This is currently transforming and shuffling customer journeys. Customers are coming with expectations that the service that they are receiving, the products that they are consuming will include AI elements. And the same thing in companies, in organization. Me at work, now have digital assistants. That was going to become a commodity. Everyone will be using that. So my expectation as an employee, my expectation as a customer is now changing, which means that companies need to change their customer journey as well. Since you can't fight the trend, you need to join the trend. And this is why we are putting in 2024 in the center of our roadmap, in the center of our activity, we're putting AI. But since AI is a buzzword, we want to transform this buzzword into something that is tangible and that it has a customer experience context in the methodology and in the CXC framework. So the framework that Ian presented is where Cemantica lives as a technology that is implementing, helping organization implement the technology. We've called our AI assistant Alex. So this is a virtual customer experience assistant, which can do many different things virtually and automatically. So this isn't replacing the customer experience team or manager. This is someone that comes to assist you. If you look at it over time and in the future, probably that these assistants will become more robust, will have more capabilities, and this type of platform will be real assistant to customer experience team in implementing the customer experience methodology. I'm going to show you 4 scenarios. Most of them are mock-ups because these are things that are scheduled in the 2024 roadmap of Cemantica. I'm going to show you a scenario of building journeys from feedback data, a scenario of detecting pain points and business drivers from the data, creating and enriching persona profiles by Alex, and also ideating solution to fix experience issues. So let me show you these scenarios with a couple of examples. So the first scenario is the creation of a persona. One of the challenges that we have, building a persona profile can be a lot of work, a lot of research work, manual work. You need to apply resources into building profiles. And the problem is that you don't have just one persona. You need to create like 5, 10 personas that will represent your segments. And then once you build the persona profile, well, the other challenge is that you need to maintain the profile because things change in the segments and in their behavior and in their expectations. And that's why we have introduced here a new option. So in addition to the ability to create yourself the persona profile or to choose from templates, you can now generate the persona with Alex. This is the new capability that is coming. You're going to put some information about the persona, like I'm John Davis, I'm 30 years old, I live in London, I'm working as an IT manager. The system already knows in which industry the customer is. So if you're in pharma, we know that this is a pharma business, so you don't need to type it in. It is something the system already knows. Once you click on generate, the system will generate you the background, expectation, frustration, and needs as a basic profile and will give you a suggestion in terms of tasks that will appear on the screen with maybe some additional properties like quotes, like center of interests that you can have as a basic profile. Now, we're not saying that this is, 100%. AI is an assistant. It brings you information that is supposed to be relevant based on the algorithms that are helping him understand what a typical person like John Davis, that is an information system professional that lives in the UK, that's 30 years old, that is expecting from also a pharma company because this is the industry of the customer using the platform, giving you this basic profile. Now let's take it a step further. This is a suggestion. Now I am taking the profile really in the system. Okay, this is in Cemantica in the version that's going to come in March. I have my profile. Now what I want to do, I want to enrich it because I have more things that I would like to tell about John Davis. So what I'll do, I can add sections. So let's, for example, add a section. And one of the things I would like to know about John Davis is I would like to know the average financial income, okay? Something that I am interested to capture as well on my profile. I'm going to ask Alex to give me some information about John Davis in that sense. And then the system gives me a suggestion of saying, okay, this is a person that's probably earning between £60,000 to £80,000 yearly. I can decide to accept or reject the text. If I reject the text, I can ask Alex again to generate something new. Alex every time gives a different answer, doesn't give the same one because it gives you variations of different sources so he knows what is the right thing for you. So if I'm deciding this is what I want, it puts me in and now I have information. Again, I can edit this information. The same thing, let's say that I want now to have more information about Alex and I'm interested to know something about the psychological characteristics of Alex. Okay, let's say that we want to know something about the psychology and we're going to ask Alex to do something. You see, it's very quick. I'm getting already 4 things about what is Alex probably in terms of psychology. It's probably a strong problem-solving skills, thrives in structured and organized environments, I have all kinds of things. I can decide to accept and I can decide to continue and enrich the profile with more things. So I don't have to satisfy with these 4. I can ask Alex again to give me another list and I can continue and get more and more information into my persona profile while Alex is generating content for me. In the same way, I could also ask Alex to give me some professional skills that I would like to capture on John Davis. What type of professional skills does this person has? And then again, Alex is going here and is giving me sliders. Not only, he's also ranking the level of expertise I probably have in each one of these professional skills. That is taking from people that are information system managers in organizations that are pharma organizations. So it can go really deeply, 32. It takes a lot of elements inside. What is it using here? This is using the knowledge of the crowd. This is using a lot of knowledge sources that are out there that are much bigger than what you have internally in your organization. So if you will try to build your profile yourself, you'll probably need to get an agency to do a research. It will be limited, the research, to a specific region because it costs money. If you really want to do a global one, you will need a lot of money. This is a way that's much faster to do it and is probably using very similar sources to what agencies are doing. And this is an example of how I created the persona profile, got the base, and now I am enriching it with Alex helping me feed my persona profile with additional information. I have now my persona, okay? John Davis is my persona. So these were two scenarios. The third scenario I want to show you is that we want to create customer journeys. So when we speak about customer journeys, one of the big challenges in journeys is that that's a lot of work as well, right? Map the journey, feed all the data into it, think about the storyline, the touch point, the pain point, the gain points, the opportunities, the sentiment, infuse data. There's so many things to do. And then after a couple of months, you need to refine it because it's not up to date. And then we are struggling with that. So one of the things that we wanted to suggest, again, like in persona, we're going to have Alex that's going to help us. And here what we're going to do, it's a very simple, you're just going to put the title of a journey. What is it? This is a retail industry journey. It's for the persona John Davis, and I can select my source of data. On what do I want to base my journey? There are a couple of capabilities and possibilities here. First of all, I can decide I want to build it from a Cemantica industry template. That we have templates for every industry. You can decide you want to use a template which is like a best practice and say that's the journey I would like to have, like a future state journey. Or you can say, I want to use all my data sources. Everything that you know about me, please use it to build this journey. Now here I could write much more, yeah? So I could write, listen, I want to map the consumer purchase in a retail store in the UK, retail industry journey. I can give more information, of course. I will get a more precise journey. But I can also choose to build the journey from a specific source of voice of the customer data. As an example, I could take a Qualtrics survey and tell Alex, please build me a journey from the survey. Now, of course, that you need to have data in the surveys, obviously, but in organizations that have data, they have 20,000, 30,000 answers to their surveys. This is a good source of information because people are also writing comments, and the mechanism is able to order things in time. So we know when you did an action and when was the next action that you did, and then this is how the system builds the storyline with the stages of the journey. So choosing the Qualtrics service and then generating what the system does, it takes stages, pain point, touch points, gain points, insights, and will push them into one customer journey that then you can, of course, edit. The pain points and the gain points, you also see that there are insights. One of the advantages of these insights is that it's giving you data, supportive data to the journey. Like, for example, 18% of customers that bought a pan also bought baking gloves. Or the average waiting time on the line in the US is 2.5 minutes in the waiting for the support in line. This is the phone channel. So you're getting all kinds of statistics that are then helping you take better decisions and tune the journey. Again, AI will never give you the 100% journey from the very simple reason that customer experience is a matter of relationship, it's a matter of sentiment, it's a matter of loyalty. These are things that humans do, and machines can help them do better. So we are using Alex for this. Now, the next scenario, after we have the journey, and we can, of course, update it, is we can take one of the pain points and we can ask Alex to ideate a solution for us. This takes a lot of time, right? You have pain points and then you need to start figuring out how do we solve it. And then brainstorming, people say, hey, let's build a new website. let's do an app, let's do this, let's do that. It can take weeks until we have some list. With Alex, when we click on Ideate Solution, he is now bringing me the list of things that usually companies do when they want to solve the visibility on which stores we have the Christmas special edition. Where do we find it? So I'm a cookware company here. This is a cookware company, a retail journey. I want to know where I can buy the Christmas special edition. I don't know that because there is no source of information for that. I go to the website, it doesn't tell me on which store I can get it. So Alex is proposing me, like for solution, the solution to present the item availability on the website, easy. Maybe to search the product inventory in store with a tablet that we can put there, maybe through WhatsApp chatbot, or maybe we can query through a visual IVR that you call a number and you're getting a menu and you can select and navigate there. Let's say I can decide which one of the solution I want to qualify. I'm saying this is a good solution. Now build me the solution, because currently it's just a title, it's an idea. So now I'm transforming it into something tangible. While Alex in the background, he's already building the solution. So he's not building it when you're clicking on it, he's already built it before. And now he's only presenting you the result. And what he does is giving you all the case of what is the solution, what is the ranking, the benefits that it's going to bring to the customer and to the business, the cost and effort of implementation, and the value it's going to bring to the business, right? We're not doing customer experience just to get smiley faces. It's a business practice. It needs to bring business value. So combining both of these together is bringing us more information. So Alex is giving me this solution. I can decide to accept it. I can decide to reject it. Maybe it's not a good solution for me. But once I accepted it, I got already a full profile of a solution that's linked to my customer journey, that's linked to the pain point, so I know what it solves, and I can link a solution to several pain points at the same time, and I can do many more things. I finished my 4 scenarios because that was just a taste of what's possible to do, but the Cemantica roadmap includes many more things that are coming, like the possibility to match personas and customer journeys, to create, to detect pain points and gain points automatically, to use natural language to search the system, just type questions and the system will answer you. You don't need to look for the information. We're going to build primary and alternative customer routes automatically, detect business drivers. There are lots of things that we can do with this technology at the service of customer experience. Last word, and then I hand back to you, Ian, because it's so interesting.
Before you launch into this, because
okay.
A lot of people have been anticipating, probably that you were going to talk about this. We've had lots of questions about where does the data come from, lots of questions about how do you bring it all together, and also where is it stored. So I thought I'd just tell you that, with lots of interest in that as you launch into this.
No problem. So I hope with this slide, because I anticipated that there will be the question around it. So we said that AI, one of the challenges is creating also data security and privacy challenges. And we have defined 3 guidelines to protect the data that we follow with our AI mechanism, which is maybe a little bit different from what other companies do, because security is so important for this type of platform. First of all the data that we process is on the customer environment. The system doesn't go outside of the customer environment to process the data. It means that the algorithm of the AI are on the server of the customer, turning and processing the data. This is one very important element. The second one is that all the data is encrypted on both sides. So even the AI algorithm on the customer environment is getting the data encrypted and is bringing back the data encrypted and is open on both sides with encryption keys. And the third thing, and I think this is very important as well, the machine learning capabilities of Cemantica, of AI mechanism, are not used to train the global models. They're not. They're only used to train the model the customer is using on his environment. That means that if I'm a company and you did personas and added section and added journeys and solution, and then the system is learning while I'm doing it what's good and what's bad, the learning of the platform will be used only in the service of the customer using it. So a competitor, for example, that's buying Cemantica and that's using the same AI mechanism will not benefit from the learning of the customer, the other competitor, because all the mechanisms are isolated and are turned only on the customer environment that they are currently learning from. So these are three guidelines that I wanted to say. Data is stored based on the region of the customer. If I'm in the UK, my data is in the UK. If I'm in the US, my data is in the US. If I'm in Ireland, it's in Ireland. So we have the capacity to deploy Cemantica in 60 countries locally with your data locally, and others that are okay with the region, like European, for example, countries, then it's stored in Ireland with a backup to Netherlands. So we have data centers wherever you are in terms of region. Handing over back to you, Ian.
How you can explain all of this in such a short amount of time almost demonstrates just how clever it all is. And straight away, I can see the huge productivity benefit that this will give customer experience professionals, let alone the organization itself as it takes its customer experience forward. And it's not just me that can see the productivity benefits. Thank you, John, for sending your thoughts in. Without question, the benefit that AI, if it is aligned with the customer journey, can have on eliminating unnecessary activity, it is huge. And just to reinforce that, my good friend Andy Butterfield, who is from Salesforce, I'll give you a little plug there, Andy, has just quoted from McKinsey's research, who have estimated that applying generative AI to customer care functions could increase productivity of a value ranging from 30 to 45% of current costs. I mean, that's huge. And again, that's not eliminating people, that's not cutting cost of people, that's eliminating unnecessary activity, which is absolutely brilliant. We do encourage you to ask questions. If we can't respond to all of them during the LinkedIn Live, we will respond afterwards. So please do send your questions in. A lot of questions, Eytan, around language. So firstly, is Cemantica available in different languages? But an additional question, which I think is an important one, is can the AI handle multi-language data sources?
Yes, so the AI mechanism is answering and providing, Alex is providing answers in the language that the system is configured. So if I'm changing the language to French, he will answer in French. Currently, Cemantica is available in 5 languages, in English, German, in Dutch, French, and Spanish. So these are the 5 languages that we currently have. We're adding additional languages so the models can bring you the information in these 5 languages for the moment.
Okay, brilliant. Now, I'm going to have to read this to you because I have no idea what this means. And this has come from our friend Sieta in Finland. Is this based on OpenAI LLMs? If that means anything to you, Eytan.
Yes, it is. So the OpenAI, we are a platform that runs on Azure. So since we run on Azure, we have the OpenAI mechanisms, and they are on the Azure instances that we create for every customer. That's the way Cemantica is deployed, with dedicated SaaS instances. And yes, it's based on that, plus algorithm of Cemantica that is connecting it into the customer experience methodology, because consuming OpenAI mechanism without putting it in a context of journey management doesn't give the right results. So it isn't just about asking the OpenAI a question and getting the answer. It's about taking the answer and putting it in a CX context and also sending the right question. And this is why we're using CX language in all the questions we're saying. So the queries are tuned to speak journey management language. And I think this is the difference if you will try to do it yourself with the ChatGPT, or if you do it in the Cemantica platform, which is applying CX language.
Thank you, Eytan. I'm going to ask you a provocative question that I know the answer to, but I'd love you to just share your response to this. People watching this, I am guessing a lot of them will be CX professionals. Some will be practitioners on the inside of an organization. Some are consultants on the outside helping organizations. I want to come back to the word fear that I used at the beginning, because some might be watching this thinking, does this mean that you no longer need a CX professional because this does all of the work for you? You know, you don't need anyone anymore to map the journey, to create the persona. Just address the question of, is this going to do away with my job?
I don't think so. I think it's only going to increase job in customer experience, because customer experience professional will have a better way to show value in what they do. One of the challenges we have in the customer experience industry is to show ROI, to show business value. How can you prove that the improvement of customer satisfaction is good for the business? So I think that the AI mechanism are going to turn CX professional more efficient. It will be an assistant for them, and they will come to management with better decisions, better solutions, and more productivity. Instead of spending hours trying to build things, the Alex is going to help them go faster. So I don't think it's going to, on the contrary, if I'm a CEO, I will probably want to invest more now in my customer experience department because they are efficient and they're providing good solutions.
Yeah, and I agree with you. It comes back to that word productivity again. I think it will make CX practitioners far more productive, but also give them more fact. You know, as you know, I obsess about the fact-based methodology. This gives us so much more fact, but up to date. But what I think is really important is the point you made earlier about, if you're going to manage your journey, you've got to keep updating it. And we've talked before about the journey becoming a living, breathing organism. But how do you do that? It's not an easy thing to keep updating it, but if it's being done automatically, it makes your life so much easier. And that's what customer experience should be doing, making life easier for us and our customers. So again, I completely agree with you. Another question has come in from Emma Sutton. Well, it's not a question, it's more a comment. I think it's important the jobs just maybe, our jobs will be slightly different, allowing us to spend more time on the real value add. Again, I think it's just sort of adding and substantiating what we already know. We're coming towards the end of our 45 minutes, Eytan. An important question is, if someone wants to try it out, you know, have a little play with Cemantica and specifically a play with Alex, is that possible?
It's going to be possible at the end of March. When we deploy the March version, then Alex will be there and everyone will be able to play with and see what it can do. And then we'll continue to deploy in July and in November. There are going to be a dozen of AI mechanisms in the system as part of the platform by the end of this year. So there's lots of things that's good you can do with it. It's endless.
It's just amazing how quickly it's moving. So anyone that is watching this thinking you want to try it, if you haven't tried or even had a look at Cemantica, honestly, you have got absolutely nothing to lose from doing so. I've said for a long time, if I'd have had access to Cemantica 15 years ago, my life would have been a lot easier. What I'm now seeing is it's going to become even more easier going forward with AI being added into it. So do reach out to the Cemantica team and they will be able to give you the ability to have a demo or more if you need it. Another quick question just before we wrap up. Eytan, is Alex able to handle voice as well as text? That's a good question.
So we are using a mechanism that converts voice to text, and then Alex is processed on the text. Alex can do also voice. We just didn't deploy yet this capability. It will come later.
My final question, just from me, why Alex? Who chose the name?
I can't tell you that. This is a company secret.
Ah, there we go. So we end on a secret. Um, Everyone, I want to thank you sincerely for taking the time to join myself and Eytan to talk about this vitally important subject. 45 minutes, I know, doesn't really do it justice. We could probably do 45 days on this.
Mhm.
But honestly, when Eytan first explained to me what was happening, I mean, it is almost unbelievable. But it's not unbelievable. We have to believe it because it's happening and it is going to move so quickly. And ultimately, I think this is such an opportunity now for those of us working in the CX profession to demonstrate even more how CX will drive that tangible, measurable change. So, a huge thank you for joining us. A huge thank you, Eytan, for sharing this just incredible innovation. If you do have questions, please do keep asking them. You can email Cemantica directly, as you see on the screen, or reach out to Eytan or myself directly on LinkedIn and ask the question. We will always come back to you and give you whatever information you need. But ultimately, we hope that this has given you a real insight into what is coming, and hopefully it will progress customer experience and employee experience to an even better position than it already is. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. We will see you again very soon. Thank you.
Thank you.